All right, we should be live. Let's hope you can see and hear everything a-okay. It's a rather nice, if not beautiful, Monday, May 26th. The time is 5:10 p.m. right now, and it's about 21 degrees Celsius. Let me just make sure the audio is working okay. And I see Marge in the chat, Drew Costin, Who's Ja, Divyesh, Jeanette Morales, Medano, Deborah, Accors. I think I already said Vivian Johnson, Embedded SRAM, Crikey is here, Christos, Caroline, Sweetie Kid, and a happy belated birthday to Fatos, a viewer who recently celebrated a birthday. And I've got a new use for the old iPhone 12. I've mounted that onto the handlebars, but we're going to be riding today with this guy, the Osmo Action 4. So this is the new action cam I picked up. I've been having problems live streaming with the Osmo Pocket 3, and from everything I've been reading, this one works the best with my software, better than the Osmo Action 5. So yeah, we're going to be testing. This one is not in 4K. I think you should be seeing it in 1440p. I'm actually sending out a 10 megabit per second 1080p 30 signal. So it's going to be an upscaled 1080p to 1440p. So sorry about the lack of 4K and the lack of 60 frames per second. In a moment, I'm going to get onto the bike. Action Kid is here. If you want to see some great sights in China, as well as Hong Kong and Vietnam, check out Action Kid. But I'll be monitoring the chat on this, but now we're going to do something a little bit scary. I'm going to switch over to the Osmo Action 4. Let's see how this works. This works. All right, we should be completely on the action camera now. And get onto the e-bike. Hopefully everything is set up all right. Some people saying hi to Action Kid. Let me just check the audio quickly. All right, we should be completely on the action camera now. All right, let's go for a quick little ride around some side streets just to make sure that we're all set up and running properly. I'm going to be making my way over to East York, which is where I need to be. Maybe we'll go to like Broadview or something. You can check out the skyline view. It's going to be pretty busy. There'll be a lot of people there for sunset on a day like this. My stream view is quite behind. I can't tell how everything looks just yet. Well, this new phone mount I got is pretty shit. It just flopped over on the first bump. But hopefully everything looks good and smooth. Let's take a peek. And just a reminder, when I am on the bike, I can't read the chat so well. Or should I? It can be kind of dangerous. I think I could lower the view just a notch here. Get a little more handlebars into the shot. Let's see how that looks. Is everything working smooth for you? Sheena says all looks good here. Awesome. And let me test this out. I can switch it to my other camera if I need. I thought about setting up another camera on my handlebars, and that way you could get a view of my stupid face while I ride, as well as what's looking forward. This is me. I don't think anyone wants to see this view. But we'll switch it back. This is also going to be a bit of a test of the Osmo Action's battery. Epic Nation says, all good? Awesome. Hey, we're in your hood, aren't we, Alicia Lewis? Let me get the Osmo Action back on. Your hood, aren't we, Alicia Lewis? Let me get the Osmo Action back on. All right, so I can successfully swap cameras, which is pretty cool. Like completely different cameras. Achievement unlocked. So we're gonna hit Yonge Street. I'll find a way to start going east off of Yonge Street. So we'll make a left at some point. Let's wait for a break in traffic. Do let me know if there are any issues with the stream. I might not be able to see them or respond. But since you're there, Action Kids, send me a WhatsApp if anything goes wrong. And Jellybean is here. Looks like the camera is showing a little bit more of my left arm than my right arm. Maybe we'll play with that view a little bit. But gotta pay attention to our surroundings. Stock bar on the right, Kevin Gossman, the Toronto Blue Jay, likes to go to that place. Let me just stop here for a second, see. How are things looking? Yeah, a little more left arm than right arm. See if that fixes it. Uber Eats hydrogen peroxide refill. Hey, pigeon. I've always wanted to do a good stable e-bike stream, and it's hard to do with just a phone strapped to your chest. And the Osmo Pocket 3 has all kinds of problems trying to maintain its signal. And apparently the camera I'm using works much better with my software, which is why I bought it. This is Yonge and Eglinton. Gertej is here, and again, happy belated birthday to Fatos. Another viewer, Des Riley, celebrated a birthday last week. Yeah, any little bumps, my phone just flops down. This is perhaps not the best choice of mounts. Dean asks, did my bike stay charged all winter? No, I leave the batteries at a partial charge over the winter, never 100%. Batteries today, though, are pretty good. You're not really degrading them, storing them full too much. I think it's generally a good practice to store them around the 40% mark or so. Embedded S-Ramp says that phone mount is a dud. Well, my other one was harder to attach and detach, so I got this one. But we'll find other uses for it. Other people on bikes going around to the left. I'm in no rush. I've got till 6:30 to be at my destination. I don't mind if the phone mount flops over anyways. I don't really want to be glancing at the chat too much. It's hard to see with sunglasses on. But we are going south down Yonge Street, but we're gonna make a left and make our way over east a little bit into Leaside maybe. Dixon Cider is here. You recommend buying a quad lock? Well, I have one that works well. It's just really annoying to take on and off because I don't like having the phone mount on for my pre-recorded bike riding videos. This one pops on and off so easily. But it wasn't, this part here wasn't designed for bicycle use. The mount was, but I added this. So I really just have to replace this piece up top that holds the bracket to the phone. And let's go along Belsize. Do a little residential cruising. Nice neighborhood. I showed off that I bought this camera on the Johnny Stumble stream last night. It was a fun stream. We had some good call-ins at the end. Thanks to everyone who tuned in and took part of that. But if this goes well and there's no hiccups, I can start doing some longer range e-bike streams. I'm also curious what the battery life is going to be like on this thing. So this is between Yonge Street and Mount Pleasant. It's a very nice area. Let's try that. Well, there's June Rollins Park straight ahead. Taking some tennis action. All right, that looks better. It looks like I fixed the view a little bit. Greetings, Megan, Alyssa. Alicia says the weather is simply perfect today. It's not bad. Just so I have an idea what the battery rundown is going to switch here. I'm just going to take the camera off and get a peek at the battery. It's going to be hard to do that one-handed. There we go. %. Not bad. So we're going to be able to stream for quite a bit, I think. All right, bear with me while I fix this. So it's not quite Wimbledon, but it'll do. Ooh. That guy blew the serve. Let me make sure. All right, let's get back to riding. Hey, Super Chat, YH. Hi, I have lots of new jokes. Thank you for the $2 YH. Congrats on acquiring some new jokes. Hopefully they don't offend anyone this time. So this is Mount Pleasant. Let's keep going on Belsize. Beautiful neighborhood. Or I don't think, whatever this street is. We'll take this over towards Bayview. You know what? I have an idea. Maybe it'll make things more stable. I'm gonna try something here.
So I don't know.
Do. Phone off, rotation lock. Lock in there. Let's see how this works. If I rotate things this way, that way the phone will be taking up less of your field of view as well. Vertically at least. Maybe now it'll pop back less. It's not so top heavy. Or not. That didn't. Medano 1973 for a quad lock fund. Thank you, Medano, for the super chat. You know what? I have my other phone mount on me. I've just already stopped a few times. Maybe I'll swap it in. We'll find a place to take a break. Oh, another super chat. Because this phone mount is terrible. Lisa, it's the nature of the experiment. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you, Medano. Well, the experiment didn't have to include this floppy ass phone mount. The problem is this thing here is not keeping it tight. It's still slipping. No matter how much tension I put on this thing still slides back. So I could probably slide a little piece of rubber or something in there just to create a bit more tension. Or even just a piece of black tape or something. Or I could, make it permanent. Use some thread lock or something. Or I could just find another Plastic mount doodad. Oh, this is Bayview coming up. Yeah, I think it's time to ditch this mount at the next opportunity. Well, we're on Millwood. It also looks a little goofy sticking way out there over the handlebars. Greetings, Christopher. Thanks for tuning in to a stream where I dick around not knowing what I'm doing. But the good news is the camera seems to be holding up. Okay, there's a park up ahead, I think. When we get to the park, we're gonna take a brief little break. And we're gonna fix the mount situation, I hope. And this is the Move-In Mini folding e-bike that I quite like. All right, here's the park. I'm just gonna go fix them out. We'll grab a seat. And this baseball team practicing. All right. Let's get this. I quite like the design of this phone mount, but the problem isn't the mount itself. It's this thing here. Doesn't matter how much I tighten it, it still moves. I just need something that will like not slide around like this. The mount didn't come with that piece. That was my piece. Just telling that kid he's chopping down on the ball. It's a bad habit to get into. Please tell me I brought my own out. Oop. The coach just nearly decked the kid in the head. That'll happen during BP. All right, I've got this thing on as tight as humanly possible. But this is such an annoying mount. Craigie says Johnny coaches. Hey, 343 viewers. Thank you guys. All right. Let's blow this popsicle stand. Maybe making a left here. Jennifer Gala, yeah, unfortunately, these things can't do this in 4K. But there's really no way to get a stable view from the iPhone 15 Pro while biking. The horizon flops all over, the phone will tilt. Works well for walking, but for riding, not so well. It's always when I watch my own streams and I don't like what I see. That's what kind of inspires me to go tinker. And that 4K attempted e-bike stream with the phone, I was not a fan of. And I tried this afternoon, and I quite like the results. I think it's much more watchable, even if it's only 1080-30 instead of 4K 60. I wanted to do a little brake test to see if there was any squeals, because I braked hard earlier today and they gave a good squeak, but not that time. Well, I want to go left here. Maybe I should be in the left lane, but oh well. Rum Music says Johnny Strides yippee. Next time in Japan, please use Samsung. Here is Millwood Road. Next stop, the view from the viaduct. We're going to be checking out some fancy new cycling infrastructure. some bumps. To me, it's crazy. They did such a good job adding bike lanes up ahead, but this stretch is kind of a gong show. Hello, bike lane, or rather painted line. Oops. I just portrait locks or landscape locks my iPhone. Now I can't see the chat. It's all sideways. We'll fix that in a moment. I'm gonna pull over on the viaduct up ahead because we'll get a good view of the Metrolinx construction for the Ontario line. They're building a bridge that goes over the Don Valley. Let me fix the iPhone mount here. YouTube, go this way. Maybe I have to redo it. Hey, Ken is live. Why watch Ken when you can watch this guy not know what he's doing? Here's my magic. There's the view of the skyline. There's the bridge to be. Nice save, dumbass. So that is going to be the eastern side of a very large crossing that is being built. That'll bring subway trains over the Don Valley. That's the Don Valley Parkway down there. Traffic's moving kind of decently. How's that for a fantastic view? How's that for an awful view? I don't think anyone wanted to see that. All right, let's get moving. Gertesh will be getting his haircut on Thursday. Good stuff, Gertesh. as I ride into a heavy wind. The whole right side of this bike lane is covered in shit. That's why I'm kind of staying on this little strip to the left here. Oh, I know where we can go. We can make this a ride of lookouts. Who's up for the Chester Hill Lookout? Say aye. Aye. Well, I can't hear any of you, so that's where we're going. We could do that. We could head down to Broadview, take that in. We'll go right on to O'Connor here. On Stanhope Avenue. Any relation to Doug? So we are in East York. This is Cosburn. Cam says the sun be blazing. Best Times Reborn is here. And this bike lane's about to disappear. So we're gonna go to Chester Hill and get the view of the city from the lookout. I'm willing to bet there'll be other people who had that same idea, and I won't be alone. on the right. It's a fun little drop down into the valley. All right, let's get a view of the lookout. Looks like there's some people there. I wonder what the people who live on this street think of the fact that there's always people just on their street just to come to this little spot. There's no escaping that. Let me switch the cameras over. Nice view. Those people are kind of standing where the best view is, unfortunately. It's actually a little bit better here after the leaves have fallen off the trees or before they come in. You can see the financial district, but that is all blocked off by those. Jane says kick him out. Hear Jotty strides. I don't know about that. It's all good. We're only about 5 minutes away from the best view. Fun with Auntie and Ozzy says I'm kind of in their area. Well, am I? Kinda, sorta. All right, we're gonna get moving here. And you know what? We're gonna experiment. I'm gonna change the audio. I've been using my wireless microphone for audio. I'm gonna turn it to the camera audio. Let's see how this sounds. All right, so this is audio from the camera. Let me know if this sounds better or worse. It shouldn't handle the wind as well. It might possibly be in stereo though. So it might have that going for it. The real test will be when I hit some wind. There's a little bit of wind. What do you guys say? What's better, this one? Oh, now we're hitting a decent amount of wind. This one or the wireless mic? Place your bets, and I will go with the one you guys say is better. Marge says sounds good. Sounds good right now. Lisa says sounds all right. But which one's better? This one or the wireless mic? Lisa says can hear the bike more, which is kind of neat. Can't hear the wind really. Oh, so they've got. Hey, I don't know if I like you guys being able to hear the bike. Then I can't lie and tell you I'm pedaling if you hear the whir of the motor. Oh, well, let's try it going down Broadview here, down to Broadview Park. So this should be a good test of the wind. We are going right into it. I would be shocked if it handles this pretty well. Look at this Bussapalooza in front of Broadview Station. I'm going to take this red light just to see. Lisa says we know you're not pedaling. Someone said the bike is more ASMR than the wind. Wow, it actually seems to be able to handle it. Color me surprised. I'll have to test them out with my headphones later. You know, when you're crossing the street, it's a good idea to, you know, look in both directions every once in a while. Just a little life pro tip there. That's a 504 King streetcar in front of me. But Mega Tokyo says slowest walk across. Indeed. Hey, nothing wrong if you have to move slow, but you know, maybe pay attention to things is all. streetcar driver kept their lights flashing because the crosswalk was in use. That's that fun game where you're sandwiched between a streetcar while riding in the door zone. Now what will surely be a busy park. I guess I could have picked a spot where there weren't noisy food trucks. There we go. It is the view of the skyline from Riverdale Park. It's unfortunate the hill is so muddy, at least up here. There's one of the best views in all the land. Jeanette says such a beautiful TO day. It is indeed, Jeanette. Yeah, a lot of the people are down a bit more on the hill, which makes sense. Christopher says your sister went to Toronto for her seminar and she rented an Airbnb on St. Clarence Avenue. Neat stuff. Tropical breezy. My day is good. This is the only time I've gone outside all day. But thank you for asking. And you know what, folks? I think we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to call this a decent success with the Osmo Action 4. That was my first time ever going live in front of actual people with it. I think it worked quite well. I'm gonna have to go home and watch it and let's do it just to see how it worked. But I think that's about it. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. I want to thank our mods and Patreon supporters, channel members, and everyone else. Thanks to those who sent support during the stream. Well, thank you, Lisa. But we're gonna call this a stream. The next time I'm on the e-bike, we'll definitely stretch things out and have a nice, long, proper stream. I was kind of itching just to try out this new camera. I just got it the other day. Novell Koss is here. Greetings, Novell Koss. Well, thank you for tuning in. Maybe right at the end, but yeah, that's it, folks. There's the view from the Osmo Action 4. But have yourselves an awesome day, and what a beautiful day at that. All right, I will catch you guys on the next